All right, and welcome back. It is week 10 here in the corner. And once again, Saturday morning, 10 o'clock. Randy and myself, Fletch, we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook. So give us a like on Facebook, hit the bells and for the notifications, and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can keep up with us. And because we're doing this, we'll do a recap tomorrow in the evening, and we're going to do a CFP reaction probably 8:30 ish. Something. If you're watching the CFP, when they get done with the top 25, they do, then you clop on over to us, and that's when we're going to spark it up and talk about what they did wrong, if anything. So, November, it's here. Last night was a big Halloween bash, and we just woke up and we're ready to talk football. So, what are you looking forward to more than anything else? I guess this slate of games today.
Well, at the beginning of the year, and everybody had this date circled for Ohio State and Penn State, and unfortunately, probably not. We're not going to get what we thought we were going to. Like I said, everybody in the world had that date circled. This is going to be the big game and all that, but um, Penn State pretty much has crapped the bed here and kind of destroyed that whole ordeal. So.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that, when we thought it was going to be Penn State, Ohio State, all of a sudden it's Vandy and Texas or,
Yeah.
it's like you said, the year of crazy. So,
Yeah.
the big, a couple big matchups that we thought we were going to see, were, they're still big matchup because of course their, games and their, uh, rivals and all that kind of stuff going on, but we're not getting what was advertised, so a little bit disappointing. But there always in college football, there's always some great things happening and surprising things happening.
Oh yeah, it's supposed to be Penn State, Ohio State, and they are fighting for dominance in the Big Ten. And now it's Penn State, Ohio State, two big brands. The Penn State bus rolled in, I think, yesterday, and there's a few bodies missing. The coach and the quarterback. He might be there,
Right.
but he ain't playing. But somewhat of a different team, but they were playing very well, up to expectations, pretty much the whole year leading up to their downfall. So. They're gonna come in here wanting to shock the world. So Ohio State either holds serve or steps on their feet. It's not like you can't lose this game by 1 point and have it be a great loss because Penn State's just not playing that great. So
Right.
Ohio State, they should. I'm feeling pretty confident. I hate to say that because every time we say that kind of stuff, things happen, but. Barring weirdness, which is the year weird, they should hold serve. I don't know about the point spread, but I don't care about that kind of stuff. They're just surviving advance, and I don't think they'll have much problem with Penn State because Penn State, really just hasn't been playing great ball. That's just call it what it is. So, but like you said, Vandy and Texas. We all knew Vandy was a decent team last year. They were a tough out, if you will. For most teams, they're going to hit you hard and make you earn it. Now they're 7-1 going into 6-2 Texas. Arch Manning's not on the injury report, so he's supposed to play. That looked like a pretty vicious hit to the back of his head last week, so you got to wonder about that whole concussion thing. But nonetheless, I'm up in the air on this one, dude. I really want to take Vanderbilt, but I know it's so hard to win on the road in college football. So
Yeah, yeah, it's and I'll tell you, it was having a little discussion about this yesterday, and I kind of agree with a buddy of mine that was talking about this. I truly believe at this point that Texas would be better off to go with Caldwell. I think
Caldwell,
it is.
yeah,
I think they would be better off to go with him in this game. Arch Manning, is a little bit questionable in that concussion protocol and all that kind of stuff. Questionable for the game time decision. I would go with him. I mean, he's what, fifth year. Uh, he's done really well when he's been in there.
right.
I would go with him. I honestly think Texas probably has a better chance to win with Caldwell than they do Arch Manning. Uh, Let Arch Manning set it out. I mean, if he does pass him, and he can always come in.
Right.
But I just don't think that I'm starting him this game, and that's one of the things about Sarkisian the last year and this year. He's really been questioned on his choice at who's starting at quarterback. A lot of people thought that Arch Manning should have played in some games last year. was kind of vice versa of what it is now. And Uber
Right.
didn't look so great. Manning was looking good when he came in, and now here we are with Manning not looking so great and injured, and Caldwell looking really good when he's came in. So
Yeah, if he really had some kind of something with that hit to the head last week, we all know that another hit to the head not too soon after is a little worse than down the road. So
right,
you just never know. To me, I kind of agree with you. I would start Caldwell, and that would just tell the team, look, we're going to backup. He's he's a good player. We can win with him. Everybody's got to step up, and maybe everybody would just kind of, all right, man, we got to get it done because we got to and protect. So you pick Arch, and I think Arch should be a really decent quarterback. We'll never know until we see it happen in the next couple of years. But he holds on the ball way too much. Just about every highlight I see him getting sacked, he should have thrown it. Not all of them, but a lot of them. He's just not getting rid of the ball, and then he's getting hit. He's getting hit a lot.
yeah. Well, their offensive line hasn't played all that well. That was one of the questions coming in, but they thought they had an upgrade. Well,
Yeah.
they don't. So the whole thing with Arch Manning, maybe he turned the corner last week. He had a great second half. All the way down to the last play, which Caldwell made that last play. But I mean,
Right.
pretty much Arch Manning was responsible for that whole thing.
Yep.
So maybe he turned the corner there. That maybe we are going to see something out of him. But we both agree that in the situation that they're in, that Caldwell would be the best bet. But Texas is a 3-point favorite at home, and,
Yep.
and by the way, Penn State, Ohio State. Ohio State's an 18.5-point favorite over Penn State. Boy,
Yeah.
who would have thought that? You thought it would be a point or two, one way or the other, favored, and that's just.
Yeah, the
I mean,
preseason projected poll was like 2.5 or something like that. It wasn't
Yeah.
a serious poll, but the projections for this game, and now
And that-
it's like it was 20.5 earlier in the week. It's come down. So
Yeah. I thought. Well, I just looked at 18.5 now.
yeah,
So that's wow. It just
totally different what we expected. There's no doubt.
No.
The fact that you and I want Caldwell to play and we think it's the best bet, that just means Arch will probably go out and throw for 400 yards and 6 touchdowns and shut us up. So
Well, I mean, he may, but I mean, given the injury that he went through, like you were talking about, I just don't. And he can always come in. That like
Yeah.
you said. I mean, he
Yeah.
can always come in if he needs to. If they feel that he's passed all the stuff he needs to pass, and he's looked good in practice yesterday and all that kind of stuff. He can always come in the game, but another hit to him and he's done.
oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, so why even
Why
risk that?
chances? Yeah.
Yeah.
I was watched the highlights of that game, and Wingo was a star for them on offense because he had at least 3 or 4, basically line of scrimmage catches, bubble
Yeah.
screens that the dude's explosive. If they don't have him, I don't know what their team looks like this year because he's pretty special.
Right.
Yeah. So
Agreed.
we shall see. But so that's a big game. That's an early kick. That's the noon. If you're wondering about that one, there's a lot of what's up.
Well, I was going to say Ohio State, Pitt State, and that Vanderbilt and Texas are both at noon.
Yeah, yep. Ohio State's big noon. So, but yeah, on Fox. A lot of teams are ranked and playing unranked teams, but they're looking to hold serve in their conferences. Like Louisville, they're a one-loss team. They're looking to stay up in the mix of the ACC, following Georgia Tech and who is it? Georgia Tech and Virginia, who are leading that conference. Miami's got one loss. First time they're leaving the state of Miami, by the way, or Florida. This is today. This is November 1st. They're going to SMU. Every game they've played has been in the state of Miami or Florida the whole season.
Isn't that crazy?
I know.
that is crazy.
That is nuts.
But I mean, one of the biggest games, probably in the SEC is going to be Oklahoma at Tennessee.
Yeah, that's tonight.
Because I mean, one of them is we have a couple of matchups today that basically one team is going to be eliminated from the playoffs because I still don't think at 3 losses that you're getting in. So
I agree. It's hard to see that.
yeah,
with the way
so
things are
here you
rolling
have
out.
6-2 Oklahoma, 6-2 Tennessee. and this is a huge game because, like I said, I mean, one of them is going to be eliminated from the playoffs. The other one certainly has a chance to win out and move on and get in the playoffs. So, I mean, that's a big matchup at Tennessee.
Yep.
With the way things went at Oklahoma's defense really, really good. Ole Miss certainly put some points up on them. But, some questions with their offense. Tennessee almost just the opposite of that. Offense looking really good. Defense somewhat questionable. So that looks like a pretty good matchup. But as usual, we go with the home team in situations like that. So
True.
should be a pretty good game. But I think Tennessee would. I'm going with Tennessee at home on that one.
I'm inclined to do that too, and I feel like different but somewhat similar. This is another Tennessee, like Alabama from a couple years ago when they beat them for the first time in a million years. Tennessee's at home, and both these teams love to light it up, and I think that favors Tennessee. I think they can light it up a little bit more because they're kind of explosive, where Oklahoma's kind of centered around the quarterback, and both their defenses aren't really shutting anybody. I know Oklahoma's got a defense, but I don't know if they're going to be able to line up and hold Tennessee down. So I see a shootout, and like I said, I think Tennessee comes out and probably in a somewhat closer game, maybe less than 10 points, but Tennessee probably takes the victory, which they need. They only got 2 losses, but they're both to the 2 ranked teams they've played this year, so this will be their first ranked win. As far as AP poll goes, we'll see how that all shakes out with the CFP. But yeah, if it was if it was Oklahoma, I'd probably take Oklahoma. So just like we talk about doing the home teams.
Right.
Yeah. I was going to also mention, it's Georgia, Florida. That's always a dogfight. Those 2 teams hate each other. It's in Jacksonville. Georgia is the road team. They're the only one ranked. It's hard to see Florida winning this game, but this is the year weird. It's stranger things have happened. But, I was thinking about the other day how I think, honestly, if we, barring any biases, if I had to pick the coach who's the best coach of college football, just in general, all the way around, it's definitely Kirby Smart. If I had to pick a coach, pick anybody that's a coach now, not somebody like Saban who's not coaching. For one game, I would pick Kirby Smart and it's all because of what we talk about most of anything. His teams are always ready, and his second half adjustments are better than anybody.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've mentioned that several times. He certainly has, and it's been in big games. I mean, we see coaches, really doing well. Indiana really doing well, but they haven't had some of the matchups the last 3, 4, 5 years that Georgia has. And I mean, Georgia's always in the game. Always.
Yeah.
Much like Alabama used to be. But
when's the last time that Georgia got boat raced by anybody? I was thinking about that, and I can't think of one, especially since Kirby's been there.
It's been a while. It's been a while. I mean, not in the last 5 years, certainly, but
if they lose, they don't get killed. They're just about in every game. There's no doubt.
Well, yeah, it's within a score, usually a field goal or something.
Yep.
So yeah, but another one, USC and Nebraska, another 2-loss teams where a team's going to be eliminated from that. And it's like I said, when we thought we would be talking about Florida, Georgia, Penn State, Ohio State, we're talking about USC and Nebraska, Vandy and
Texas,
and Texas. I mean, nobody's seen this stuff coming at the beginning of the year, but that's the beauty of college football. We just never know. And as Fletch has deemed the year of weird.
Yeah.
It certainly has been that. But USC comes to Nebraska. That's an interesting matchup. How do you have that one?
Well, it was just Nebraska right after the whole Penn State thing came out, and then they were talking about Matt Rule. He went out and they laid an egg bad. I can't remember who they played, but it was ugly. Dylan Raiola didn't look good at all. I honestly
he gets an extension out of that, by the way.
Yeah, I was kind of the kids, especially guys, not necessarily guys. If you want the best job in the world, be a fired college football coach. I'm taking USC in this game. I think they're a little bit more complete, just compared to Nebraska, not like complete compared to the big teams. They got a little bit more firepower, and I trust their quarterback a little bit more. even though it's on the road, I think Nebraska is probably looking at next year before they can really have something they're going to put on the field that's going to potentially contend to in the Big Ten, let alone making it to the CFP. But SC needs this one. Really, they both need it, but I think it's going to be at SC. And then what is it? The week after that, Oregon next week comes to Iowa. Crazy
Right.
big game
Yeah.
there. We'll talk about that. But yeah, I like SC against Nebraska today.
Yeah, I think so. I think I agree with you on that. USC has certainly looked pretty good at times. Nebraska's just kind of been steady. Had their moments here and there, but yeah, I would go with Southern Cal in that one. I agree with you on that take.
I mean, they took care of Michigan pretty good, and Michigan's only got 2 losses, so they're
Right.
not like a horrible team. They're a little one-dimensional, but boy, they did not look very dimensional at all when they were out west.
But in the big games that they've had, they haven't looked
Right.
that good. So
Right.
I'll tell you another great matchup is, and this is another one that we probably didn't see coming, is Cincinnati and Utah.
Oh yeah, that's a late kick because they're out in Utah at 10:15 Eastern time.
Yeah.
That's a heck of a game.
Yeah, Utah 6-2, Cincinnati 7-1. That's a big matchup there, but it is at Utah.
Yep.
That's another real tough one. What do you see in that one?
I want Cincinnati to win. I think Utah's going to win. That's as plain as I can say it. Cincinnati, Ohio team. I kind of root for Ohio teams if I can. They're one bad pass away from being undefeated when they threw the late pick against Nebraska in the first game of the year at Kansas City. First game of the year, jitters, all that stuff. They've played their best football since Satterfield's been there. They can do it, but I don't know how physical Cincinnati is, but I know Utah will punch you in the mouth. Being at home, and that place gets pretty raucous out there, I just feel like I got to go with Utah. But I want Cincinnati to win the game.
Well, yeah, I agree. I would like to see Cincinnati win also, being from Cincinnati, obviously. But,
Right.
I kind of agree with you on that. It's going to be tough to go out there to Utah. But, Cincinnati is also one of those teams. And in the last couple of years since we've been doing this show, we've had a team every year that we say, this will be the week. They're going down. And there's a couple of times Cincinnati's had that. I thought, Cincinnati's not going to get past this game or that game, and they have. So, maybe this is another game where we say, yeah, we don't think they're going to win, and they do, which that would be great for them. But,
Oh, yeah.
they keep getting it done. They keep finding ways to get it done. Like you said, that first start, and always that first game of the season, it's just so much going on, still so much to figure out. You can practice, but until you get on the field against a quality team,
Right.
you just don't really get to see exactly what you got and to work things out. So, Cincinnati has certainly came on that way. But yeah, I'm with you on that one too. I can't believe we're agreeing so much on all this stuff. But love to see Cincinnati win. But it's going to be a tough road out there at Utah.
And I think also in November, this is where you start separating yourself. It's November 1st. Like South Carolina and Ole Miss. If that was at South Carolina, I'd be like, hey, you never know. But it's at Ole Miss, and South Carolina. Last week they just had their heart ripped out of them, literally.
Oh, boy, yeah.
And I don't know if they can do that again on the road. But then Ole Miss just came off a nice. No, yeah, trap game. You come off a big win. Ole Miss, they're gonna. South Carolina, they ain't nothing. And they all of a sudden they find themselves down. It's possible, but being at Ole Miss, I got a special feeling about Lane Kiffin this year. I think they're definitely going to be in the CFP somewhere. I don't know if it's going to be a conference champion or what, but I think they're in. They got to win. They're not in now, but I think they're going to be in. But yeah, what do you think of Georgia Tech and NC State? Because all I've heard this week is how NC State's offense is just incredible. The DJ Bailey, or the quarterback, I'm thinking, I've never heard anything about it. In Georgia Tech, it's on the road. They're saying it's going to be a tough out for Georgia Tech to go in there and win. NC State's 4-4. I'm thinking, what am I missing here? To me, it's like Georgia Tech all the way. I don't see how NC State can stay with them, but maybe I'm just not looking at something.
Well, the only thing you're missing is the year of weird.
Yeah.
Something happened. I don't see. Georgia Tech has played really well.
Yeah.
I've been impressed with them. The couple of times that I've actually got to check them out and see what they're all about. They're pretty solid team. They're making things happen down there, and they've always been a dangerous team to play.
Yeah.
another one of those teams. You're like, well, you got to look out when you got them on your schedule because you never know when they're going to jump up and bite you. But
Right.
having a really good year. So yeah, I don't see it. I don't quite see that either. I don't know what that's all about. But that's
I
why
for-
they line. That's why they line up and play, I guess.
I forgot to put one stat going back to the UC Utah game. Did you see the halftime stats of Utah and Colorado last week?
I seen the final. I don't know if I actually looked at the stats. What was it?
It was 43-0 halftime Utah.
Yeah.
Utah had 300 and something yards of total offense, or maybe it was 400. Colorado's total offensive output was -12.
I did see that. I,
I was wow! I could not believe it. I'm like,
I did see
and Dion still has his job. No offense to Dion, that's crazy.
I did see that. That was crazy. That was nuts. But yeah, I did. Now that you said it, I did see that.
Yeah, wow! I was shocked.
was
I didn't expect Utah to win, but boy, that wasn't even a game. That was a scrimmage. But anyways,
Iowa's been a surprise this year. Also,
It-
doing pretty well.
I was the one team I was gonna, if we had time, I was gonna say, who do you think is gonna be in that's not in the top 25 right now? The top 25 on Tuesday, and I think Iowa's a team. They're off this week, right?
Right.
Yeah, USC's playing next week. They play Oregon at Iowa, then they go to USC. They've got some ranked teams left on their schedule. They're 6-2. They've only lost 2 games. They look a lot like Tennessee. They've lost to ranked teams. They lost to Iowa State and they lost to I can't remember who it was off the top of my head, but Indiana. And they lost to Indiana by 5 points. They played them better than anybody's played Indiana.
Right.
And they're not ranked. And since Tennessee's 6-2 with 2 losses to ranked teams, no big deal there. I'm not slighting Tennessee or anything. Iowa's got decent offense for them for sure, but they got typical Iowa defense. They're going to give Oregon all kinds of trouble, I think, because it's at Iowa. If it's at Autzen Stadium, I'd probably. But everybody knows it's tough to go into Iowa and win. And as Indiana, they needed a late touchdown just to take the lead to win the game, and they did. But they didn't put 62 on them like anybody else. So yeah, I think Iowa's a team I think is going to be ranked, and if they can get that game next week, right now they're 4th in the Big Ten. They're the 4th team as it looks in the standings. So good looking team.
Yeah, I agree, and I'm starting to question a little bit about the whole Oregon thing, really how good they are. I know they're fast, I know they're well coached, but it's going to be interesting to see how they match up. They had a big win at Penn State, but and that just maybe the wheels was already off at Penn State, and we just didn't know it yet.
And it took them to overtime to get to that win.
Right. Well, and at Penn State in a crazy atmosphere, which we didn't think they'd have a chance to win in that kind of atmosphere, and thinking what we had in Penn State, which we didn't.
Right. I mean, Penn State playing in that game.
And I'm not saying Oregon's not that, but I really, when they come up against an Ohio State and Indiana, or even in Iowa, what's going to happen there? That's going to be.
Well, Indiana already beat them. We know that. In Oregon, I think Oregon. Well, you're saying very good team. I don't think they're as good as they were last year. I think they got a new quarterback. He's young. He's not putting up the Dillon numbers where Dillon was in the regular season. Their defense isn't quite what they were.
No.
Where Indiana looks better than last year, where Ohio State surprisingly looks better than last year, but for different reasons because they were all veterans last year, and now it's all young guys, but they're still getting it done. Still some games left, though, so still got to see it in the big one at the end of the year, today for sure, and then when they get to CFP, which they probably should, the Big Ten Championship game, that'll tell us a lot about how good they really are. But I agree with you. After the last few weeks, Oregon is notching down a little bit. I think, they're not horrible, but they're just not. Last year, they looked like they're going to go all the way and go undefeated. They're going to win every game, It didn't happen. Ohio State destroyed them. But nonetheless, yeah, I agree with you on that one. I really think Iowa's got I'm looking forward to that game next week. They got a really, really good chance of beating Oregon in Iowa. There's no doubt.
In Penn State, things can really go bad for them. I mean, Penn State has Ohio State this week. They have Indiana next week.
Yep.
I mean, they jumped from the skillet right to the frying pan. So I mean, they're going to have things are going bad. They really go bad, and now they have a schedule
I
that's
was
going to be really tough for them.
I was talking about that earlier in the week with my boss. I said Indiana was the one team in the Big Ten that pretty much had everybody on their schedule. They play Ohio State, they play Oregon, I'm sorry, Penn State. They play Ohio State, they play Oregon, and they play Indiana. The other teams don't play all three of them. Like we were like Ohio State doesn't play Oregon,
Right.
or Penn. So Penn State had all those teams. They could have ran a table and said, "There's nobody we didn't beat, so we're the absolute number one in this," and it just didn't happen for them.
Right.
So
Yeah. Absolutely. So yeah, I mean, Vandy being at Texas, we talked about that. Vandy's another team that's got with a great record and high expectations at this point. A self-proclaimed Heisman hopeful and all that kind of stuff. Which he probably is. They've got their schedule is like that too. I mean, they got some really tough games coming up as well.
yep.
Here to finish the season. So yeah, I mean, it's going to definitely be interesting. Like I said, the matchup today are, some of them are not quite what we expected in the beginning.
Right.
But, I mean, you never know in the year of weird that, what's going to happen. But, I mean, hopefully they'll be good games. I don't want to turn on the TV and see, well, you probably do. But, I mean, see that Ohio State's up by 4 touchdowns at halftime, which they could be.
I wouldn't mind seeing in that game for sure. Obviously, you want your team to, be on the good side of a blowout,
Well,
But yeah, I think Vandy, Texas is going to be a tight game. There's no doubt in my mind. Noon kick, that's a tight game. I think SMU and Miami could be interesting. They just gave it SMU's coach for going 5-3 an extension, So he did better last year, but he didn't get that extension. So, West Virginia going to Houston, I don't think Houston have a problem with them. Louisville, Virginia Tech, I don't see a problem there. I really don't see Maryland doing anything other than just watching Indiana go up and down the field, but you never know. Same with Georgia, Florida. Notre Dame and Boston College, sometimes Notre Dame, I would be shocked if Boston College is in that game just because of Notre Dame's input. It's been a long time since they lost and a long time since they've played a game that where it was somewhat tough other than USC. So,
well,
interesting.
Notre Dame seems to be really rolling right now.
Yep.
Things really going. They put it together. I really like their coach. They've certainly turned things around. And their losses were very tough losses too.
Oh yeah,
Very
and
good
they're
teams. So
close game, 1 point loss or whatever.
Right.
So yeah,
So,
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean they really have things rolling. But yeah, it'd be like I said, another good week. Missing out on some marquee games that we thought we would see that could still be very good games, but they certainly lost their appeal from a win-loss standpoint. So
I always love to pick a crazy upset, and I'm going to do it this week. Texas Tech number 13, 7-1. They're going to Kansas State, and I think they're going down.
Texas Tech is going down
to Kansas State. On the road. A late kick. Their starting quarterback is banged up. The backup's out for the year. So either the starting or the third string is going. I don't know, but the starter is banged up. That's why the other guy was in the game, and now he's gone. I just think that's a recipe for Kansas State. I mean, the line on that is like 7.5 for Texas Tech. So I'm not going. I'm going straight up.
7-point Texas Tech, which is kind of surprising. A 7-1 team going against a 4-4 team.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. That's a pretty bold pick, but
that's my upset.
Another one on the road. I don't know that I have an upset pick with everything that's going on here. I was just kind of looking to see if I do. I don't know that.
Another one I saw was potentially SMU upsetting Miami.
That's what I was looking at right now. It's at SMU. Yep. Miami going out there.
Haven't left the state of Florida until today. So
exactly. That's great. That's still unbelievable.
In Miami, the last couple of years has shown to go out and lay an egg in games they shouldn't. So you never know.
Yeah, man. I just don't. I don't know. Like I said, some of the matchups that we thought we were having, we don't really have right now. But that's the one that I was looking at. Actually, I was just
Yeah.
sitting there looking at that. Well, yeah, I don't know. 6-1 Miami going out to SMU, who's 5-3.
Right.
Miami's a 10-point favorite. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, but I mean, I'd kind of like to see SMU win that game, to be honest with you.
Oh, I'd root for him in a heartbeat. I love a good underdog when you don't have a dog in the fight. If we had stopped the show 2 minutes ago, I wouldn't say this, but we didn't. So I'm going to change my pick. I'm going Vanderbilt.
You going to Vanderbilt over Texas?
Take down Texas, baby. Horns down.
Well, that's certainly not surprising.
No, it's not.
And we talked about that early on. I think Texas' best shot to win that game is to go with Caldwell at quarterback. So
Right.
We'll see what happens there. That's not a bad pick. I'm kind of up in the air on that one. I could probably flip a coin, but I'm going to go with Texas at home.
We'll be opposite on that one.
Yeah, but like I said, I'm not solely sold on that.
Yeah.
Texas has just been pretty much unpredictable. I mean, an unbelievable comeback last week. I mean, who was it? Mississippi State? Is that?
Yeah.
I mean, they had them friggin'. I mean, they were thumping them. I mean, just
they were like. I hate to take too much time, but I heard the call on the punt, and they're like, "Just don't kick it to Middleton, whatever his name is." And they kicked it right to him, took it to the house, and that tied the game up. They had the game. That was like a minute something to go. Kick it out of bounds. I don't know. Crazy.
Well, the one thing that, the other thing that we've seen in the year of weird is that one thing is, man, you got to play 60 minutes.
Yeah.
We've seen so much change in that last 2 minutes, 3 minutes of a game.
Mm-hmm.
That's unbelievable. And sometimes I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, wait a minute. You had the ball with a minute, 50 seconds to go, and you let the other team score twice.
Yeah.
It's not just that game, but I've seen it in several
multiple times. Yeah.
occasions that it's like, wow, man, I'll tell you, in Alabama, being a big Alabama fan, I mean, their really close games have come down to the last 3 minutes. Oh, man, they got this game. Then all of a sudden, no running game, they can't put it away, and all of a sudden it ends up being a one-score game.
Yeah.
So college football this year, well, football in general, you've got to play all 60 minutes.
Oh yeah.
There's no letting up. You can't practice victory formation and throw the ball in the air like the guy from Vanderbilt did. So yeah, play all 60.
If Mississippi State covers the punt on just regular deal, might be a 45-yard punt net, they probably win the game because Texas could not drive the ball against that defense. They were eating ours for lunch, man. Yeah. But it was the special teams flipped the script on that game. So crazy.
Yeah, there's always something, as you say, a game of inches and things that happen, costly turnover, whatever it may be, but it has come down. Many games have come down to that last minute, those last two minutes. It's like, what can't I think people's realized by now, can't shut it off yet.
Right.
Even if you're up 2 scores,
can't
shut it off yet with 2 or 3 minutes to go because who knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, no doubt. So, this kind of Saturday where hopefully you see an upset brewing while it's going on, you flip it over and you watch something cool happens. There's going to be probably at least one. It almost always is some kind of upset. Somebody coming out of nowhere and knocking somebody off and causing chaos. So that's what it's all about. But we love it. It's the best sport in the world, no doubt about it.
Maybe it's Penn State.
No. I know you don't believe that at all.
No, not
you got more faith in honesty than I do.
not even for a minute. Yeah, that ain't gonna happen.
But if for some reason that game's close at halftime, you might want to give me a call. make sure I'm not standing on top of the house.
That's I was going to say that actually. I said earlier, you probably like to see them up by 4 touchdowns. One thing that does when it's your team. And I told you, Alabama's reminds me of the old Cleveland Browns and cardiac kids. I mean, every week coming down to nothing, man. They're affecting my health and my
blood pressure,
my blood pressure, my heart medicine. This whole thing. So, geez, but I'm also that guy, and I've told you this before. A lot of coaching in my lifetime, and in the high school level and everything else. I'm just never comfortable. I don't care what the score is.
Yeah.
I was not comfortable. It's just like I want to see the final out. I want to see the final play. I want to see, I want to see something. I mean, I've said here many times at a game, Notre Dame, Alabama, something like that. One of the teams that I really like, and something will happen, and I'm yelling at the TV, and my wife or even my grandson now, they're like, Paul, what are you doing? The
Yeah.
other team has to score 3 touchdowns in the next 30 seconds. Calm down.
Yeah. No doubt.
I just like to see the very end result, and in the final. I've just never been able to relax until that happens.
Oh, I mean, like, I'm sure you last week were pulling your hair out, thinking
Oh,
this is over. We're not going to win, and then you end up winning. I mean, I watched rewatch. I do it all the time. I rewatch Ohio State, Penn State for 2017, where Ohio State was down 18 points in the fourth quarter, like with 8 minutes to go, and then next thing you know, they won the game. Because they just put it all together and started scoring. So, yeah, last week, man, it just certainly looked like at one point, man, Alabama ain't going to win this game, and then strip, fumble, touchdown, 2-point conversion, crazy, great call. And next thing you know, boom, bang, boom. And, South Carolina's looking around like, what the heck just happened?
Yeah. Well, I said in our post game, I'm sitting there, my grandson sitting in my chair with me, and he looks at me and he's like, even after the fumble, he goes, Paul, they really better score a touchdown here because that guy's going to miss that field goal. And I'm like, well, Alabama history pretty good because you're right. I would have definitely made them kick that field goal because their field goal,
right,
at crucial times, man. I mean, they don't just miss; they miss bad.
Right.
Yeah, it was kind of. I'm like, he made me even more nervous. I'm like, oh crap, you're right.
No doubt.
Yeah,
how old is he?
He's 8.
Oh man, smart kid. He'll be a coach someday.
Well, he's into sports. He's really into football.
Tell him.
Played at Ohio State last weekend. I think I might have told you that.
Yeah. You said that.
Right here he is. Right here, as a matter of fact. Say hello, Parker.
Did they win?
They finished. What place did you finish?
We got 3rd place in the tournament.
All right.
Yeah. So they won it last year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So that was exciting for them. But yeah. He loves football, and he knows what he's talking about too. Whenever he's called that,
I'll bet.
Did you tell me the guy was going to miss the field goal last week? Yeah.
He won.
Yeah.
Alabama.
Cool.
I got another one over here. I'm going to get it. Yeah. Get on your tiptoes, everybody, so they can see you. There he is.
There he is. All right. Thunder and lightning.
Yeah, you got it, man. So.
Was that a third one?
There is 3 though.
Oh man.
Yep, got all 3 of them. This was Reese. Here's Reese. I got Reese over here. Yep. Yeah, it's my daughter Amy's. All 3 boys.
Biff, bam, and boom.
Yeah, this is Parker, Hayden, and Reese. Hey,
Man.
8, 6, and 4.
Man, they'll all been on the same team.
She's got her hands full.
No doubt.
Yeah.
All right, man. Enjoy the games, and we'll definitely look for you guys tomorrow evening as a recap of what's going on, and maybe we'll give us a little sprinkle of what we think is going to be on Tuesday, and definitely look for us on Tuesday after the CFP rankings come out at 8:00. So we'll be about 8:30ish or so.
Absolutely. Enjoy your day.
Enjoy the games and go Bearcats, as well as Alabama's off this week, right? They're getting ready for LSU.
They have a bye. I got no pressure this week.
Oh, no wonder you're such a good mood, man.
I'm happy.
You were me last week. I was like, this is nothing. So, all right, man. Enjoy the game, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.